Tomorrow will be better. F of x equals this. What is f inverse of x? Most of us are familiar with finding the inverse of linear functions, even rational functions. How about radical functions? Dear friends, it's the same principle. Follow me, dear friends. Solution. Let's start by letting the function f of x to be another variable y. So let f of x be equal to y. In other words, let's rewrite this and change f of x into y. This means y will be equal to x minus 2 all cubed plus 1. Now at this point, the target once more is to make x the subject of this formula, dear friends. And to do this, we have to consider that x is bound by first a negative 2, next by a cube, and then again by this plus 1 here. So we start by getting rid of each of these things which bind x. All right, we start with the easiest one, which is plus 1, by sending it to the left, and watch out for the sign. When it changes sides, it becomes negative. So this means y minus 1 will be equal to x minus 2. Now the next thing here that is binding our x here is this cube sign. Now be careful not to say divide both sides by 3, because x here is not a factor. This is an exponent. So we have to do the opposite of this, which is actually 1/3. So we will raise both sides to the power 1/3, which is nothing else but a cube root. All right, so I will have to the left y minus 1 raised to the 1/3 equals to, now we will no longer have this cube here, because the objective of doing this was to cancel this cube. All right, so we will have now x minus 2. Okay, things are getting easier. Now we have just minus 2, which is still bothering this. So we will send this to the left equally, and be careful with this once more. So here we will have y minus 1 to the 1/3 plus 2 equals x. And there we go, we've made x the subject of the formula. But we ain't done yet. What do we do at this level? Dear friends, this x which we made the subject of the formula is actually equal to the inverse function of f, which we are looking for. And what becomes of y? Y will finally give room to x, which was the initial variable of the question. There was no y initially. We introduced y alongside. The initial variable was x. So y gives room back to x. So we're going to have something like f of x prime, f prime of x. So no longer x, but this f prime of x, or f inverse of x, equals, instead of y, we will have x minus 1 raised to the power 1/3 plus 2. And this is the inverse.